So alright, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I datamoshed my clips under Linux. With that said, a bit of background on this topic. I originally sought out to write my own tool, however with a bit of research I found a pre-written tool in Python already available on GitHub, and it turned out to be perfect, just what I was after, so that's what we're going to be using in today's tutorial. With that said, this tool does come with some extra features, some of which I haven't covered before, so we will probably save that for a future video. For the sake of this video, just like when I covered datamoshing before, we're only going to be focusing on the iframe removal and p-frame duplication, which can give you effects that look something like this. But yeah, with that said, if you want to use this under Windows, feel free. It's a Python-based program, so you can definitely run it there as well. But with that said, first things first, get the mosh.py file. You can get it from the GitHub. I'll have it linked below in the description, and I'll also have a personal backup, just in case if this ever goes down. The next thing you're going to need is Python. So you can get this by typing sudo apt-get install Python into your terminal, or if you're on Arch like me, it will be sudo pacman-s Python. Well, either way, once you have Python, you either need to install the tools directly to the Python directory or use a virtual environment. I'm going to opt into using a virtual environment, and if you have no idea what that is, check out my previous video on this topic, because there's a lot we can do here with virtual environments. But yeah, first things first, I'm going to type in python-mvenv and give my virtual environment a name. In my specific case, since I'm working on a project called Datamoshing, let's just call it Datamosh-env to signify that's a virtual environment. It will make a folder, then dump a copy of Python and all the tools it needs into that folder. From here, we can install new tools and features to that folder, and when we're basically done using these tools, we can just essentially delete this whole datamoshing folder and be left with a clean slate. Now, believe it or not, we're actually almost done. We need to activate our virtual environment and then install one package, believe it or not. If we just want to use the basic tools of mosh.py, all we're going to need is ffmpeg. So to get all this, we first of all need to activate our new virtual environment. You could do this by typing in source, then datamosh-env bin/activate, never mind. So source datamosh-env/bin/activate. If typed correctly, you should notice your little prefix here in your terminal will change and say you're now activated essentially. Once you have your virtual environment activated, all that's left to do now is install the ffmpeg package. You can do this by typing in pip install ffmpeg, and since I want to keep my system kind of clean, I'm going to do a tac no tac cache tac dir. Hopefully I typed that right. Now when I hit enter, that will download and install ffmpeg while leaving no extra caching files behind. Essentially everything will just go into this folder, and when I'm done with this I can just delete the whole thing and my system's pretty much back to a clean slate. But yeah, there we go. We have it installed now. The actual Python script should work. Just make sure your script is in the same folder as your virtual environment if you're using a virtual environment like me. And if we type in ls, we should see those files. So from here, I'm going to type in python mosh.py, and it should just spit out some usage requirements and stuff like that. If that happens, it means you got mostly everything set up correctly. So what we need to do now is just run a command. Now the actual GitHub repository here has a good list of commands you can use, so I recommend just checking out this section because maybe in the future one of these commands can change. But in my personal backup, I'll have a README file you can click into that will tell you some very basic commands for iframe and p-frame manipulation. But yeah, I'm just going to basically copy and paste one of my commands and just change it up a little. So essentially change the input field and the output field to suit your needs. In my specific case, my video is called example.mp4, and the output, I just want to call it output video.mp4. The tacd command in this specific command here that I'm running is to duplicate 5 frames at the end. Essentially, this will get you a really trippy frame duplication effect. You also want to make sure you set a start point in your frames. Like I said, this is completely not GUI based, so to get your frame start, you would have to like play the video file in a very compatible video player that will tell you what specific frame you're on. I believe you can do it with FFmpeg, but I'm just gonna guess a frame essentially. This program's pretty smart enough to tell you that if you're out of frame, it won't work. But yeah, I'm gonna hit enter on that, and it should just run. As you can see, it's now outputting our video, and this will take a good minute or two. Since this looks like it's about to be done here soon, another interesting thing you want to know is the TAC-S command is where you start on your starting frame. If you do a -E, I believe it was, I'll look at the command here in a minute, you can specify an ending frame. So if you only want part of your video clip datamoshed, that's how you could signify a start and ending spot. But yeah, we got our example done, so let's open it up and take a look. This is the p-frame duplication that we just did, so this will do a kind of duplicated frame 5 times. There, as you can see, it looks really trippy. It's like an infinite effect. Like infinite hall of mirrors, I should say. But yeah, that will go on all the way to the end of our clip because I didn't specify a ending point. So let's run this next clip with just the iframe deletion method. I'm gonna call this, instead of output, let's call it like iframe output video, maybe something like that should be fine. Then hit enter. This will give us an entirely different effect. A thing you need to know about iframe manipulation here is your clip, your starting clip, needs to be comprised of at least a few different clips. So in this case of this, I forget what exactly I did here. I think it's just 3 clips that will go back and forth from one another. As you can see, there's no transition between them, but feel free to put transitions or whatever else. It can actually improve the effect greatly. But yeah, as you can see, that's what I did there. So the first frame should then bleed into our second, then our third with the current setup that I have here. If you notice you're bleeding too late or too early, just change your starting frame. If you only want it to start and stop somewhere, be sure to change your starting frame and your ending frame. But as you can see, that is now done. It goes a lot faster than the p-frame manipulation. But yeah, here's the end result. It should switch before our next clip if I remember right. There it is, and then the next clip should then fall in on top of that. It's not as clean of an effect as some of the other datamoshing programs I've seen. However, it's pretty good for my purposes. I believe you can tweak it even further. Like I said, this is basically just a Python program, so there's plenty of tweaks to go around it. In fact, there's actually 3 or 4 different other things this tool can do. I believe you can do vector of motion, which increases motion or something like that. Then you can do this one I really want to mess with sometime. It's called style transfer. Essentially, one still frame, one moving frame, makes your still frame look like it's moving. We've all seen that effect in like failed streams and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically it for this video, and I really hope it helped you guys out. TTPK signing off. Peace. With that said, Roller Coaster Tycoon shouldn't be that surprising of a port considering the original Xbox